The keyboard is an incredible expressive tool. It fulfills many musical roles: melody, chords, bass, or multiple of those simultaneously. It's also an incredible landscape for improvisation. Today we're going to take a look together at the layout of the keyboard and explore a few different approaches for how we can move about this landscape. The range of the keyboard is enormous, and it might seem a little bit intimidating at first, but it's actually laid out in a very logical and easy to remember pattern that helps you orient yourself no matter where you are on the keyboard. See here we have groups of notes. 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 3 black notes, 2 black notes. And this repeats across the entire range of the keyboard. Let's play the first note in this group of 2 black notes. Now, if we come up to the next group of 2 black notes and play that same first note, notice that it sounds like the same pitch, but higher. Same is true if we go down to this earlier group of 2 black notes. The first note, it's the same note, but lower. This is true for all the notes on the keyboard. Look, let's take this white key in between these 2 first black notes in this group of 3. Now we find that same pitch between these 2 black notes in this group of 3. Same note, but lower. And up here, the note between these 2 black notes, same note, but higher. This layout breaks up the keyboard into nice, even, repeating cells, each of which have all the same notes as the cell before, but higher. Another important feature of this layout is that every note is a half step away from its nearest neighbor. And this is true whether it's a white key or a black key. I'll show you what I mean. Let's again play this white key. It's the one between these first 2 black notes in this group of 3 black notes. Now you might think, oh, the next neighbor note is right here. But in fact, this black key is right in between them. I know it's a little bit higher up than these ones, but if we're actually going note to note, this black key is the nearest neighbor. This distance is a half step. It's the smallest interval available to us in our musical system. And as we continue to ascend the keyboard, always moving to the next neighbor note, we'll find ourselves playing half steps all the way up. And now look here. This might be a bit confusing because we're missing a black note. But in this case, this white note is now our next nearest neighbor. And so this is again the distance of a half step. And as we continue to climb, we find this black note here, and this white note, and this black note, this white note. And again, we're missing a black note in the middle here, but that's okay. This is still just a half step up. Now this holds true whether you're ascending or descending. Watch, we'll come down now to the next note, which is this black note right here. And then the next note down, this white note. And then the next note down, which is this white note. So we're missing the black note. All these are half steps all the way down. As we continue down, playing an unbroken line of half steps. Again, the next note is this white note, and this black note, and this white note, and this black note. And now we're back home at this note, between the first 2 black notes in the group of 3. Let's talk about how we'll approach playing the keyboard. So to begin, you want to be as relaxed as possible. Just stretch out a bit, stretch your shoulders, stretch your neck, take a nice deep breath. And now, if we let our hand just sort of hang, let gravity take our fingers where it wants to go. You notice there's a very natural position that our hand falls in, with this nice arc of the fingers. This is critical. This is the playing position we want our hands to be in. If you notice, we take this hand position and we just lay it down on the keyboard. This is a nice, comfortable, relaxed position to play in. Notice that we don't want flat fingers, and we also don't want straight down like we're pressing a button. We want nice, relaxed, curved fingers. Now, most of the energy that we're going to use to play these notes is going to come from gravity. We're just going to let our hand, with this natural, comfortable curve, just fall on the keyboard. Just let this fall and let the weight of gravity pull your hand into the keyboard. Just try this with me. It doesn't matter what notes you're playing. And if we play a single note at a time, let's say with our thumb, you want that same natural gravity to pull your hand down. This technique lets us play with the least amount of energy. It makes it very comfortable to play for a long time, long sessions, without tiring out our wrists or fingers. Now I'm going to show you a very simple pattern that we can use to move about this half-step landscape across the entirety of the keyboard. So now we're going to take our right hand, and we're going to use our middle finger. We're going to play the first note in this group of black notes here, this group of 3 black notes. Just play this note with me. Now watch this pattern. We're going to use our thumb on almost all of the white keys. Our middle finger is going to be responsible for playing all of the black keys. And we'll occasionally use our index finger when we get to this place with no black key to bridge the gap between our middle finger and our thumb. Let me show you what I mean. Now thumb will play the next pitch up, cross it underneath like this. And now our middle finger again on this next black key. Now our thumb. And then middle finger again on this black key. Now our thumb again. Now notice if I were to use my middle finger again on this one, we'd be in trouble because I want to use my middle finger on all the black keys. So now the pointer finger comes to the rescue, and we're going to use our pointer to play this next white key so that we can comfortably hit this next black key with our middle finger. Now back to thumb, and middle, and thumb. And now again, we'll use our index finger to bridge that gap so that our middle finger can play the next black key. Middle, thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, index, and middle once again to bring us back. Now this is true for ascending or descending. Let me show you. Again, we're going to play this first note in this group of 3 black notes. Now look, we have our pointer finger to bridge the gap for us, and then thumb, cross over our middle to take over for the black key. Now our thumb, middle again, and now index to the rescue once again as we bridge the gap, get our thumb down there so we can comfortably cross our middle finger over. And middle, and thumb, and middle. A good thing to practice when doing this exercise is that index finger switch. So let's start again in this first black key in this group of 3 with our middle finger of our right hand. We're going to do middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle, thumb. Now here's where I want us to focus for a minute. So remember, our middle finger on our right hand, we're playing all the black keys. So if we start here, the next one would be thumb. And now, index to the rescue again. Middle. And let's just move up and down along this for a second. So we have middle, index, thumb, middle, back up, thumb, index, middle, back down, index, thumb, middle, back up, thumb, index, middle. And this will continue if we continue up, here's another opportunity to practice. So we have our thumb, and the index bridges the gap, back to middle. Let's come back down. Index, thumb, middle, back up. Thumb, index, middle, back down. Index, thumb, middle. So when we play a whole scale like this, check it out. We're going to go middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle. Try practicing this at whatever tempo feels comfortable for you. Eventually, you'll be able to build up some speed and move all about the keyboard with this pattern. For our left hand, the pattern is almost the same, just reversed. Let me show you. So again, let's start with this first note in this group of 3 black notes here. We're going to use our middle finger on all the black notes. Now again, thumb, middle, thumb, middle, and now our index comes to the rescue a little sooner because remember, this is reversed. Our left hand is a mirror of our right hand. So index will be next to bridge the gap for our thumb, making it easy for us to switch back over to the middle. And thumb, middle, and now index again to the rescue. Then thumb and middle. And this pattern stays the same across the entirety of the keyboard, no matter which hand you're playing with. Now let me just show you what it's like if the index finger doesn't come to the rescue. Check this out. We're going to start again with our left hand. We're going to use our middle finger on this first black key of this group of 3 black keys. We're going to do our pattern, walking up, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle. Now let's say I wanted to do thumb here again because we're following the pattern. Thumb, middle should be, how can we, you see what I've got to do here? It's really not ideal. I guess, you can find your way back, but this is just, it's not comfortable. And you can see how nice and even and easy the pattern is when our index bridges that gap correctly. Try experimenting with this pattern across the entirety of the keyboard. Don't be afraid to go as slow as you need to. Don't worry about playing in time. Don't worry about which notes you're playing. Just relax, have a great time, and enjoy yourself.